Now, Hertzberg motivation theory model, which is also called as two-factor theory. They are not under the constant threat of being laid off. A job must provide an employee with praise and recognition of their success. All the motivation factor is there. That's the reason many people got addicted to it. At their most and least, please understand, most and least happiest with their jobs. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students here, and now we are in the fourth session, and here in the fourth session we're going to explain you something about Hertzberg Theory. Students, Hertzberg Theory was proposed by a person called Friedrich Hertzberg. And when we go with this word Hertzberg theory, it is also very popularly known as two-factor theory. Now, one more, if you understand, I'll tell you the MYSURU University syllabus and the MYSURU University pattern when we go with it. There are few faculties, whoever actually goes with framing the questions, they always do this. That is, will the student know all about what are the other name of Hertzberg theory or not? They'll just test you and they'll twist a question, and don't get confused, it is the same theory. So when we go with this Hertzberg theory, there is a twist here, what exactly it is. Now, Hertzberg motivation theory model, which is also called as two-factor theory. This is also called as what? Two-factor theory. I'm telling you about the MYSURU University. Some of the faculties, they want the students to learn in depth, so they always twist the question. They're gonna give you something called explain Hertzberg theory or explain two-factor theory, and they actually go more with that. There are so many other names for this theory as well. They are just that what exactly happens is there are two factors which will always motivate a person to work. So this is a motivation kind of a thing. The first one here is motivators, and the second one is called hygiene factors. So there are two factors, that's why it is called two-factor theory. Now we can actually go with this two-factor theory, why a person will work in a company to his happiest moments and he'll actually work more, and why a person will not work more and he'll be in a sad kind of a situation. So these are the things which Friedrich Hertzberg actually got to know, and he did this theory by going with an interview for like 200 men who were very much happy in working, and there were a few people who were not happy at all. So he went with this interview in this 1959, that is, it's way long back, that is 1959. He conducted an interview for more than 200 employees, and then he got this two-factor theory. And sometimes what you feel and what we feel are the same thing. That is, why a person will get motivated and why a person who will not get motivated. See, that these are the two factors which he has figured it out. The first one here is motivators, which can encourage employees to work hard. So it's a positive. One more is there called as hygiene factors. When I go with this hygiene factors, please understand, hygiene factors are those factors which will unmotivate the employee or not present. If they are not present, they'll actually make them not to get motivated. So these are the factors which Hertzberg actually wants to explain. The first one here, we'll go with it. Now, in the Hertzberg motivation theory, that is the two-factor theory, please do understand that the motivation theory model goes by a number of different names. The first one is two-factor theory, or Hertzberg motivation hygiene theory, or you can actually say dual structure theory. Dual structure theory. So if you get any question, explain dual structure theory, it is called Hertzberg theory. Whether it is motivation hygiene theory, again it is Hertzberg. Two-factor theory, again it is Hertzberg. So we'll use these terms interchangeably in this article. And Frederick Hertzberg, he developed this model in 1959. He did this by interviewing over 200 professionals. And here what happens is the interviews delved into when the interviews were at their most and least, please understand, most and least happiest with their jobs. So that is what he has taken a random 200 people, where in that 200 people they were like most happiest people who used to work and get the things done, and they were like most least happy people. So these are the randomly selected people, and they are the professionals which he went with an experiment in 1959. So what is the first one is motivating factors. Now when we go for a motivating factor, these are the factors which will motivate an employee to work more. When he works more, he feels happiness and then he is working. So that is the motivational factor. First is achievement. He should have the courage of achieving something in the organization. Recognition, because he wants to have a market standing kind of a thing, that is a recognition in a company, and he wants to flaunt with that. The work itself will actually motivate him that I should work. Responsibility, advancement, growth. Now say an example I'll tell you. When we go with this game called PUBG, many of the people, they got motivated to play more. The reason is what? One is they have something called achievements, right? Like you have a bronze stage, silver stage, or a gold stage, or an ace stage. Like that, you have so many other kind of things, like achievements you have. Then you go with recognition, that is, we should come in top 10. That is what the recognition is. The work itself or the game itself. Now responsibility. Now when you play the PUBG in your squad and all, what really happens is it's your responsibility to always be with the team and help the team. And advancement, after the stage you will actually get more advanced. And then growth is also there. There are many people who started earning from this. See, these are the factors. Even when a developer goes with, he will make sure that the factors which are like motivating factors, he will introduce it in a game also. See, I just gave an example of PUBG, and you can see that all the motivation factor is there. That's the reason many people got addicted to it. And let me tell you, getting addiction is not a motivator factor. It's very harm. Sometimes it is very harm. That's the reason many people have lost their life also in PUBG. So this is what it is. Again, statutory disclaimers, we can go for it. We're not encouraging anybody to play PUBG, or we're not going for any other kind of a thing. But what exactly it is, this is the motivation factor which even the application developer will introduce it in the games. So here we'll go with the next one, that is we'll see one by one what are the motivating factors. The first one is achievement. Now achievement means what? A job must give an employee a sense of achievement. This will provide a proud feeling of having done something difficult but worthwhile. Next is recognition. A job must provide an employee with praise and recognition of their success. This recognition should come from both their superiors and their peers. That is, their colleagues and the superiors should actually recognize their work, saying that yes, you have done good, and they need to appreciate, and they are supposed to felicitate those people who have done or achieved that success. The work itself, the job itself must be interesting. See, the job itself should be interesting, or else you will not work. Say example, you have taken training, you have gone with all the process, and now you will get a job which is not worth to actually do it. Now what happens is you don't even feel like doing it. The same way, if the job is like little difficult, you really need to spend time. Now what happens is the job itself will motivate you to work more, and you will dedicate your entire time only for solving those things. So that is what the thing is, that is called the work itself. Next we have is responsibility. Now after a certain time, when you reach to that pinnacle where you are responsible, now I'll tell you, when the entire management feels that you are the person who is capable to handle these kind of responsibility. Now even that motivates you to be in that particular place and then work for them. So it's like employees should own their work, and when they go for it, the employees who should go for owning their work, they should hold themselves responsible for this completion and not feel as though they are being micromanaged. So they should actually take the responsibility, they should take initiative. Advancement, when we go for advancement, promotion opportunities should exist for the employees. When you have this promotion, what happens is, like, you're growing in your organization. That is what advancement is. That is, right now you are here. Now if you work more, you will be placed here. Next, you will be placed here. So what is it? Promotion should be there. The last one is the growth. That is, the job should give employees the opportunity to learn new skills. When we go for the growth, if we are not learning something new, now that is not the growth it is. This can happen either on the job or through more formal training. So these are the motivational factors. Now I told you about the first one here is the achievement we went, and then we went with the responsibility, advancement, growth. All these are what? Motivational factor. That is, the job itself are the motivational factor. That is the reason people will work and people will get motivated to work good. Next one is the hygiene factors. When we go for this hygiene factor, please understand, hygiene factors are the factors. If it is not there in the company, you will not get motivated. So that is what it is. It is not like dismotivate, like demotivation. It's like you will not get motivation at all. The first one is company policy. If a company policy is not in the favor of the employees, you will not get motivated. Second is supervision, relationships, work condition, salary, status, security. Now all these things are the hygiene factors which the employees really want it to be present. If these are not there, company policy is not there, supervision is not there, relationships are not being maintained, work condition is, it always keeps on changing, or salary or status or security. Now what happens is, these will lead to not making you or not getting that motivation factor which our employee should actually have. So let's check one by one what exactly we have. The first one we have is the company policy. The policy should be clear, it should be understood by each and every employee, and the employee should have a favorable policies which it is feasible and the people can actually work together in a harmony and not in discord. When we go with this, these should be very fair and clear. What is that? Fair and clear to each and every employee, and that must be equivalent to those of the competitors. So we should always listen and we should always see to the competition, and then we are supposed to match. Because see, company policy are few things which the employees will look very carefully and they'll stick on to the policies and they'll not do something which is not mentioned in the policy. That's the reason you should have a very clear-cut policy. Next is supervision. The supervision should also be what? It should be fair and appropriate. There should be no bias when we go for it. It should be unbiased. And later it is relationship. Now here when we understand about the relationship, please do understand that there should be no tolerance for bullying or cliques. A healthy, ambial and appropriate relationship should exist between the peers, superiors and subordinates. The colleagues should be very good. Nobody should actually go for bullying. If you start bullying a person, what happens is he'll not get motivated to work. He'll not even get motivated to come to the job itself. That's the reason we are not supposed to encourage all these things. The relation should be very healthy. That is how you are supposed to be there, right? And there should be cooperation and not individualism. The next one is working condition. Now, working condition, when I say, equipment and the working environment should be safe, fit for purpose and hygienic. See, if you have a office and it is not cleaned for 2 days and then the third day you are coming, now you don't feel like working there because the hygiene system is totally horrible. Or you are working in a factory and you don't have guarantee of your own health, right? It's like harmful gases are being released in the factory. Now, will you go and work there for that salary? Definitely no, because you will feel that your life is more important than your salary. So that is the working condition. And lastly, we have a few of the other topics, that is like salary. Now, the pay structure should be fair and reasonable. It should also be competitive with the other organization in the same industry. Say example, why do people actually opt for a company? Is for the salary, the more the salary. And salary is one of the key factor which will definitely motivate a person, but salary can also demotivate a person or not motivate a person. How? In the sense, he's working more and he's being paid less, or he's working more and the person who's working less is paid more. Now what happens is the salary will be a factor. That's the reason we say we have a motivation factor and a hygiene factor. Salary comes in the hygiene factor. Next one is status and security. Please understand about the status and security. The organization should maintain the status of all employees within the organization. Performing meaningful work can provide a sense of status. So you should always have a dignity. You should always recognize the people who are working for the organization. And next is security. It is very important when it comes to security. That is security, that employee feel that their job is secured. See, once the job security is there, then a person will never get demotivated. He always feel that there is some person who gonna recognize us, will be there for a long run, and he'll not take more tension. He'll work honestly and he'll go for it when the security factor is there and he feels that he's secured. And they are not under the constant threat of being laid off. So there is nothing called laid off policy here. That's the reason they'll have a very good team and they'll lead them. So these are the hygiene factors which motivates a person if it is present. If it is not present, that will not motivate a person. So I told you about salary, I told you about status, security. Now all these three S when we go for it, salary, status and security, please understand, even one is absent, the other two will not work properly. You are getting more salary, but you don't have security. Next month you can be kicked out. Or your security is there, your status is there, but you're not getting more salary, right? So again, you will not have a kind of a motivation to work. So these are the factors. That is, one is the motivator factor, another is the hygiene factor. Any doubt regarding this session, please do call us. We're always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.